I'm Chester Hayes, and I began dancing when I was about 9 years old. I used to dance a lot when I was on holiday with my family. We used to go to places like Haven and Pontins, and I would always dance at the nighttime disco. And my parents thought, he needs to dance, he needs to go into some kind of dance class. And then my mum put me into a dance class, and then that was it. I've been working quite closely for the last 7 years with Holly Blakey, and I've performed in a lot of her works, including we did a tour of her Some Greater Class, and we performed her cowpuncher piece at the South Bank Centre, and did the sequel of that piece, which was Cowpuncher My Ass, at the South Bank's Queen Elizabeth Hall. And yeah, I've worked quite closely with Holly for the last few years. Recently did a campaign for ASICS and Vivienne Westwood's trainer collection collaboration. And yeah, a lot of my work's been with her. I've done a lot of work myself with nightclub collectives and bringing dance into clubbing. I think that's something that very, very much inspires me. It's so great to dance with people that I've been dancing with for such a long time now. We've got such established relationships, and when we get to dance together, it just feels so great. And I really admire Holly and all her work, and it's an honour to dance with her as much as I do. To be honest, I was just looking at my emails one day, and I saw an email about a residency for 25 years plus, and I thought, yeah, I'd like some space. I'd like some space to do my work, and I need this push, this structure to push myself to be more productive, I feel. And I decided to apply, and luckily I got it. I'd been reading some really inspiring books during lockdown, and one book that particularly inspired me was Alan Downes' The Velvet Rage. And the book deals with shame, but particularly like gay shame, and how it's so common within the gay community. And it's something that I definitely connected with. I definitely saw myself in the text, and the book really, really inspired me. And I thought I found a connection with it that led me to movement. And I thought I could explore some of the things that have been discussed in this book, and then add my own experiences and the experiences of others, and create a work. In my mind, this piece is a larger piece, and the section I worked on during this residency was the middle section. And for me, that section was about how people compensate for shame. Like, you feel shame from shame that's existed with you since you were a child. You're probably out as gay, you're probably publicly gay, but the shame that you still feel from your childhood or adolescent years is now playing out in your life in different ways. And I looked at how people compensate for shame in that kind of stage. through this residency, I approached it quite differently to how I used to work. I used to really plan everything out meticulously and approach a rehearsal with something that I wanted to teach and kind of do a lot of pre-preparation. But for this residency, I really wanted to work with Ethan and Ethan's own experiences, and I wanted to really trust myself in the moment. And yeah, I didn't plan so meticulously like I used to. I allowed things to just happen in the room and just trusted it. And I'm really glad I did that. I think I have quite an interesting relationship with music in this work. There's parts of the work where the music is just complements what's happening with the movement. But at the start of the piece, I'm making quite a comment with the music. The feeling of the music is quite opposite to the feeling of the dance. I'm using quite a happy song, happy, very, very camp song, and allowing the movement to go quite wild and full of rage. And I like that kind of like unsettling contrast. I used a version of I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You at the start. It's just a super, super campy song, so campy. And I wanted to play around with something very camp, like, and just see how I could contrast with that and create something unsettling. What I try to do is I try to choreograph the movement and then find the music after. Because I find if you settle on the song too early, you can get quite stuck in it, or you kind of want to paint a picture of the, or it's just a natural instinct is to paint a bit of a picture of the music. Whereas if you make the choreography first and then put the music on after, I really like the dynamic of that. Sometimes you might have a job where it's like choreographed to this song, that's the job, starting from scratch. And I was starting from scratch and from feeling, and I wanted to really dance out what the feelings were and let that narrative grow and trust in the process and trust that a narrative will form out of that. And then once that's forming, I can see, now that's what that is. Now what music would complement that or not complement it, as the case may be. Yeah, I just really wanted to, for this particular thing, let the movement lead me. I think at the start, because I felt a little bit rusty actually when coming into the studio, because a lot of my work I'd been doing this year, I'd been working with just myself, and I felt a little bit rusty leading a warm-up actually. Just like being in the studio with another dancer and like leading the warm-up, and when I've been dancing on my own, I've been so in my head, like talking to myself in my head, like to be suddenly with someone else and talk them through a warm-up, it was a bit startling at the start, but actually I ended up really enjoying that bit. I think my favourite part was shooting, to be honest. It was a combination of so much work, and it was beautiful to just make the thing that we've been working towards. And yeah, I was really happy with with the setting, the location we found, and yeah, it just felt like a beautiful cherry on the cake from a really nice time. I had a feedback session with Kashish and Vicky, and I was a bit unsure about the location, where to film, and that was my main thing I was asking for their thoughts on. And their advice was that the dance says a lot. It says so much. You don't maybe need to overthink the location. Maybe it's something just quite simple. And that actually, I found that really helpful, because I was putting too much of a story into the location, and I wanted the movement to just tell the story on its own. And I was cycling home from the studio, and I was thinking location. And I was just looking out for things on the way home, and then I went cycling, and I found this little space kind of to the side of some flats. There was this space. I don't know what it was used for, but it was a couple of pillars that are holding up this block of flats with this kind of beautiful concrete semicircular space, and it just looked like a perfect space for the dance. And I just kind of stumbled across it, and we filmed there in the end. Yeah. I feel amazing about what I achieved. I achieved probably more than I expected to achieve. I'm happy that I trusted myself in the moment, and I had a really nice time with Ethan. Got to know Ethan really well, and yeah, just really connected with movement, and yeah, I feel really happy with how it turned out, and I really enjoyed the process, and it's given me a lot of inspiration to push forwards and carry on with my work. So I filmed the work myself. I decided to film the work on a VHS camera, like an old early noughties camera, because I just like that look. And I also filmed it on my iPhone in case it doesn't come out so good, because it's always a bit of a risk. And I also decided to edit it myself. So I'm editing it at the moment. That's my least favorite part. I'm not so good in front of a computer screen. My attention span is not good. So yeah, that's my challenge for this week. And where do I see? Yeah, I mean, I see this part that I've made here as the second part of a 3-part work, or 3 parts that make the whole work. So I would love to explore the first part and the third part, and I could see this working on a stage, but also as a video. So yeah, maybe when the finished product is there, I can fully step back and allow my next plan my next step, or allow my next step to come to me. Maybe just about how helpful Vicky and Kashish were. I had a feedback session with them, and Kashish set up a really great system for giving feedback, and it was just so helpful, and I really took a lot from that. And their system of giving feedback is something that I would definitely explore myself if I was giving someone else feedback in the future. So that's something that I'd like to call out.